Is it coming? వస్తుందా?
ఏంటి లైవా రావట్లేదు. ఏం ఛానల్ మార్చి చూస్తాను. రావట్లేదు. లైవ్ అని చూపిస్తుంది. ఈ అబ్బాయి షర్మిష నో సౌండ్ అండ్ నో ఫేస్
దానికి ఏమంటారు?
ఏంటి మార్చడం మనం చూసినప్పుడు ఎందుకు రావట్లేదు లైవ్ అన్నట్టు. రావట్లేదు నాకు అలాగా.
ఓకే, మార్చేసే.
సీలర్నింగే పెట్టినా మీరు స్టార్ట్ చేయాలి.
వెయిట్.
నేను గుడ్ ఈవినింగ్ సార్ అని పెట్టేగా వద్దు.
హలో, am I audible? Am I audible? I guess I'm audible now. Yeah, just we can wait few seconds. Am I audible to everyone? Hello. Yes, I guess now I'm audible to the students and teachers. Yeah. This video don't have any sound. Probably, yes, I'm on mute. main purpose of this channel we are exploring over here. And I would like to promote physics in that technology. Coming to part of physics, yes, how to learn. Encouraging students to practice and perform interesting and relate physics to everyday life, encouraging students to ask questions using interactive visuals. Then there is a virtual field trip I'm planning to go for science museums, science parks, wherever in the country. And you can see that recording classes from class 6 standard to MSc, CBSE and icse syllabus and all over India universities. And there are some science facts you can observe in this channel. It is very helpful to competitive examinations and laboratory experiments and physics as per Indian curriculum. These are all the process. And hands-on activities from class 3rd standard to 8th standard, a very simple experiments in science. There are very good jobs in physics we are launching soon. And we are inviting an experts and physicists entire the globe. There is an invited talks we are encouraging it. And practical applications of physics around us. Where it is, when it is, why it is. All WH questions we can able to answer. Yes, coming today class, we can go ahead now. Almost delayed few minutes. Yes. Last class we have explained about definition of gravitational force, universal law of gravitation, universal gravitational constant, relation between capital G and small g, the relation between capital G and small g, and what is free fall and free fall equations. Okay. Yes. Now let's end with gravitation. Parents are the center of person's solar system, even as an adult. There is a small quote. Now today the concept is your weight same everywhere? Is mass and weight are different? This we are learning today. Why do astronauts feel weightless? What's happening at the space? So what is weight? So weight of the object on the moon. So what is the difference between mass and weight? Mass of an object is the measure of its inertia. Greater the mass, greater is inertia. It remains the same whether the object is on Earth, the moon, or even outer space. Thus, the mass of an object is constant and does not change from place to place. Coming to weight, repeating again what is mass. Another way I can tell you, mass is a number of molecules in a unit space. Number of molecules in a unit space, we can call it as a mass. So still I can able to explain what is mass exactly practically. Let's say there are foam sheet. You can take a foam sheet, 3 kinds of foam sheets you can take it. One is very smooth. Very smooth. Once you press it, yes, entire the sponge sheet will be compressed, maximum. This is little hard. little hard. Here what happens? We need to press and it won't be compressed much. Same cube of one more sponge, very hard, very hard. If you press it, it won't be compressed so much. Lightly it will be compressed. So what is the difference between these three sponges? Very smooth sponge. Yes, there are the molecules in a separate distances are there. This is very smooth. So number of molecules in a unit space is less. So here the mass of an object is less. This is a little hard. So number of molecules are little more over here. That's the reason little hard. Very hard. All the molecules are tightly packed. All the molecules are tightly packed. So here what happens? If you compress it, it's too hard. Too hard. So now the mass is the number of molecules in a unit space is very more in that very hard sponge. So hope you understood that what is exact meaning of mass. Greater mass, greater inertia, which means more rigid. More mass is there, more rigidity will be there. It remains the same whether the object is on the earth, the moon or even outer space. So the mass value never change. It will be constant enter the universe. Next, what is weight? Generally somebody will ask you, what is your weight? We can say some of kg. So how to measure that weight? We have to step in that weighing machine. Gravitational pull on a mass. As simple, gravitational pull on a mass called as weight. So W is equal to gravitational pull on a mass, m into g. So as the weight of an object is the force with which attracts towards the earth, the SI unit of weight is the same as that of force, which is Newton. Weight is the force acting vertically downwards. It has both magnitude and direction. Alright. Now, weight of an object on the moon, how it is? Weight is actually the force with which moon attracts the object. Let's say mass of an object will be m, then its mass of a moon, let's say Wm. As you know that gravitational force F is equal to capital G m1 m2 by r square, let's say. Now the mass of a object on the moon, which means mass of a moon at the same time object mass and by the radius of moon whole square. So this is the formula, weight of an object on the moon. Next, now we can see that, for example, how to compare that the mass and the mass as well as the radius, along to that the weight of an object on the earth, at the same time weight of an object on the moon, how it is. Let's say on the earth mass 5.98 into 10 power of 24 kilograms, earth radius 6.37 into 10 power 6 meters, moon mass 7.36 and 10 power 22, and moon radius 1.74 into 10 power 6. Clear? Now you can compare that weight of a moon is equal to, which means F is equal to capital G m by r square. At the same time, weight on the earth is equal to capital G m by r square. Here radius of earth, radius of moon. Clear? So the mass of moon and mass of earth. You can say that. So while doing that, Wm value, this value, weight on earth, so and so value, you will get it. So finally, an object mass on the moon is 6 times on the earth. So Wm is equal to We by 6. Clear? Next. Now there is a question. Mass of an object is 10 kilograms. What is its weight on the earth? What is weight on the earth? W is equal to m into g. W is equal to m into g. Mass of an object 10 kilograms. G value 9.8. If you do that, 98 newtons is the answer. So this is the way we can solve the numericals from gravitation chapter. Yes. Now you can see there is a question here. An object weighs 10 newtons when measured on the surface of earth. What would be its weight when measured on the surface of the moon? Just we have explored weight of the moon is equal to weight of the earth by 6. Object weight on the earth surface how much? 10 newtons. How much they are asking on the moon? So it by 6 times. So 1.67 newtons. Clear? Next. Yeah. Now coming to another part of gravitation chapter, thrust, pressure kind of concepts. Why are knife sharp? Why it not blurred? We can see that. So what is thrust? What is pressure? How does it depends on thrust? Generally, whenever you're going to a swimming pool, if you falls down, you will feel that something lifting you up. The upward force of an object called as a thrust. As simple. The upward force of an object. The upward force on an object is called as thrust. So what is pressure? Force in a unit area is called as pressure. So how does it depends on thrust? Yes. Now if area increases, thrust will be decreased. That we will study in further. These are all the question answers. We will see it now. While rocket launching, the thrust upwards, weight will be downwards, lift and drag we are observing over here. And you can see the weight of a flight downwards, lift upwards, thrust forward, drag backward direction. Now concept of pressure. What is pressure? You can see that this nail, the surface area of the nail is very more over here. Yes, surface area is very more over here. If you hit with a hammer, is the nail will goes inside? No, it's very hard. It won't go. Now very small surface area over here. If you hit, then it goes inside. So it depends on the area. Now you hose a nozzle, okay, and half of you stop it over here. Due to high pressure, flash will come out. If you leave it, normal flow we are observing. Clear? So this is the concept of pressure. Pressure is the force acting perpendicularly on unit area of an object. The same force can produce different pressure depending on the area which it acts. SI unit of pressure is Newton per meter square meters, which is also called as Pascal. So pressure P is equal to force by area. Force units newtons, area units meter into meter, which means Newton per meter square. All right. Next, thrust. The force acting perpendicularly on an object is called as a thrust. Pressure is equal to thrust by area. Okay. Now you can see there is an activity. Take an empty bottle, Put it on the surface of water. Of course, it will be float. And place some of iron marbles or something glass marbles. You place it over there. It will be float. You fill with totally marbles. Completely comes down. So what's happening? Here what's happening? We will see. Does the force due to gravitational attraction of the earth act on this bottle? If so, why does not the bottle stay immersed in the water after it is released? First case, what happens? Yes, the empty bottle, if you place it on a water surface, if you pull it down, again bottle will come top. Okay, once you can see here. So once if you place it, automatically it will become stop. The force due to the gravitational attraction of the earth acts on the bottle in the downward direction. So the bottle is pulled downwards, but the water exerts an upward force on the bottle. Thus, the bottle is pushed upwards. To keep the bottle completely immersed, the upward force on the bottle due to water must be balanced. This can be achieved by an externally applied force acting downwards. This force must at least equal to the difference between upward force and weight of the bottle. Now, the upward force exerted by water on the bottle is known as upthrust or buoyant force. In fact, all objects experience a force of buoyancy when they are immersed in fluid. The magnitude of this buoyant force depends on the density of the fluid. Now, concept of buoyancy. As simple I'll explain you. Once we fall down, yes, something is lifting you top. The upward force what we said, that is buoyancy. Take a beaker of water. Take an iron nail and cork of equal mass placed on its surface of the water. Observe what happens. Cork flows while the nail sinks. This happens because of difference in their densities. The density of substance is defined as mass per unit volume. Density D is equal to mass by volume. So the density of cork is less than the density of water. That's the reason cork is floating. Nail density is greater than the water. So that's the reason nail is sinks. This means that upthrust of water on the cork is greater than the weight of the cork. So it floats. The density of iron nail is more than the density of water. This means that the upthrust of water on the iron nail is less than the weight of the nail, so it sinks. Therefore, objects of density less than that of liquid float on the liquid. The object of density greater than that of the liquid sinks in the liquid. So, mathematical formulas D is equal to m by v. Archimedes principle. What is Archimedes principle? Take a beaker of water, put one finger. You might be noticed that some of the water level will be increase. Put two fingers, still more increase. Put entire the hand, it may flows out. So in this case you might be noticed that initially the mass you suspended with a meter. Here it is announced as 7 pounds. Again put inside of the water. It comes to 4. So what do you mean? Some of the water floats outside. Before 7, now 4. So absolutely 3 pounds of water comes outside. What we understood? How much mass we are placing inside of the water, at the same mass of water will becomes outside of the beaker. So the elongation of the string or the reading of the balance decreases as a stone is gradually lowered in the water. However, no further change is observed once the stone gets fully immersed in the water. The elongation produced in the string or the spring balance is due to the weight of the stone. Since extension decreases once the stone is lowered in water, it means that some force acts on the stone in upward direction. As a result, the net force of the string decreases and hence the elongation also decreases. This upward force exerted by water is known as buoyancy force. Clear? Archimedes' principle will state that if an object immersed in a water, outflowing mass of a water is equal to mass of an object. This is exactly Archimedes' principle. Applications of Archimedes' principle is the most important. It is used in designing ships and submarines, lactometers which are used to determine the purity of sample of milk, hydrometers used for determining densities of liquid work on this principle. Now there are the few questions, viewers. Take a screenshot and you can email me what are all the answers over here. Relative density. The density of substance is defined as mass of unit volume. The unit of density is kilogram per meter cube. The density of a given sample of a substance can help us to determine its purity. The relative density of a substance is the ratio of its density to that of water. So relative density is equal to density of a substance by density of water. Now there is a question. Relative density of water is 10.8. The density of water is 10 cube kg per meter cube. What is the density of silver in SI units? Now you can see relative density is equal to relative density is equal to density of object by density of water. We have to compare with water. So they're asking about density of object, which means silver over here. So relative density into density of water, which means 10.8 into 10 cube kg per meter cube. So this is the right answer. Clear? Yes. Now this is the totally gravitation and thrust and pressure includes. So there are some CBSE questions how they will ask, we will see step by step. Now there is a first question. Define thrust, pressure and state the SI units in which they are measured. Just now we have discussed what is thrust, upward force of an object. Okay, thrust is upward force of an object. So what is pressure? Pressure is force in a unit area. Pressure P is equal to force in unit area. Thrust also the force, which means Newton. SI units are Newton. Pressure units Pascal. Pressure units Pascal. So this is answer. Next question. What is meant by relative density of substance? The relative density of mercury is 13.6. So what is its density in SI units? Given that the density of water is 1000 kg per meter cube. So how to answer this question? What is meant by relative density? Just now we discussed relative density is equal to density of substance by density of water. So relative density 13.6 is equal to density of a substance, let's say that is X, by density of water 1000. So the density of a substance is equal to 13.6 into 1000. So which comes as 13600. Clear? So that is the density. Next question. State the source of centripetal force that our earth requires to revolve around the sun. List the factors on which the force depends. Exactly. So you can see this question. State the source of centripetal force that our earth requires to revolve around the sun. Here, gravitational force. Gravitational force between sun and earth. List the factors on which the force depend. We already studied force depends on the mass of the earth as well as the sun, as well as the distance between earth and sun. Clear? Next. Show that if the earth attracts two bodies A and B placed at the same distance from the center of the earth with the same force, then their masses are equal. Repeating again. Show that if earth attracts two bodies A and B placed at the same distance. So let's say A object and B object, okay, we placed at the same distance from the earth. Now it falls down. Yes, it falls down. Earth having with the same force. So their masses are equal. As you know that F is equal to capital G m by r square. This is the gravitational force. We need to prove that masses are equal but the distance is same. M1 object which is having r1 distance, M2 object which is having r2 distance. So gravitational force on M1 capital G m by r square means m into small m by r1 square. So capital G, if it is F1 value, so F2 is equal to capital G, M2 is another object and mass m by r2 square. Now they are saying forces are equal. If F1 is equal to F2, what happens? M1 is equal to M2. In the equation we will come to know. That is the reason both masses are equal. Next question. Name the two factors on which Buyon's force depends. What is Buyon's force? Upward force of an object. So when it will be depends on the two factors. One is mass of an object. Second one is area occupied by the surface. Okay. Next question. State the relationship between Buyon's force on an object and the weight of the liquid displaced by it. So here the Buyon's force of an object and the weight of the liquid displaced by it. As per Archimedes principle, if an object immersed in a water, the outflowing water is equal to mass of an object. Next. Now there is a question. A nail is driven into wooden board by using a hammer. The impact of the hammer on the head of a nail produces a thrust of 25 newtons. If the area of the head is 0.5 mm square and the tip is 0.5 mm square, find the pressure on the head and the tip of the nail. In this question, a nail driven into a wooden board using the hammer. The impact on the hammer on the head and nail produces thrust. Thrust will be 25 newtons. Okay. If the area of the head, which is area is equal to 0.5 square millimeters, this is on the head area. Tip area 0.1 square millimeters. So pressure P is equal to thrust by area, which is 25 by 0.5 into 10 by 10, which is equal to 250 by 5. So obviously 50 newtons. Or here the pressure they are asking, so 50 pascals. And on the tip how much? P is equal to, again 25 is the force applying, which is thrust. Area will be 0.1, which means 250 pascals. 250 pascals. Hope it is clear. Next question. A man weighs 600 newtons on earth. What is his mass? Let's see. As you know that W is equal to m into g. They're asking about mass of a person. M is equal to W by g, which is equal to 600 newtons by 10, which is 60 kilograms. On the moon, his weight would be 100 newtons. On the moon, his weight would be 100 newtons. So what is its acceleration due to gravity? So W is equal to m into g. They're asking about acceleration due to gravity, g value, which is W by m. G value nothing but a value. So W value will be 100 and mass of a person is 60. So approximately it comes as 1.6. 1.6 meters per second square. This is the answer. We will see the next question. What is free fall? Free fall we named as if an object without applying any force, if falls down, that is free fall. Write the equations of motion of an object thrown vertically upward direction. So here, write the equations of motion if an object is thrown vertically upward direction. There are the equations of motion. V is equal to u plus at. S is equal to ut plus half at square. V square minus u square is equal to 2as. If an object vertically thrown top direction, what happens? Here, initial velocity will be there, final velocity will be 0, acceleration due to gravity is minus g. Once if you substitute, 0 is equal to u minus gt. At the same time, here s is equal to ut minus, on the place of a, substitute minus g of gt square, and 0 square minus u square is equal to minus 2gs. So u square is equal to 2gs. U is equal to square root of 2gs. Okay. Hope you are understanding the questions. So these are all the questions asking by CBSE. Okay. So tomorrow we can start with new chapter. Any questions? Any questions, audience? I guess, yeah. You come to know finally what is gravitation and thrust and pressure and the questions how they're asking. Clear? If any doubts, in my description email ID, you can able to send any questions. At the same time, Hural, add to subscribe the channel. And every day 10 to 11 p.m. 9th standard, upcoming days 10th standard, 11th and 12th classes will be continued. Thanks for your cooperation. Thank you so much. Yes, bye for the day. Thank you all. Good night. Jai Hind.